Good morning, friends. So today we'll just go through your module 4, that is subsystem design and layout. Okay, in that subsystem design means, so what all those things what we'll be just looking for is your, so in this we'll be just going for your schematic, stick diagram and layout of your NMOS, CMOS and by CMOS. Okay, so now in that we'll just go through the some architectural issues. Okay, in that first, design process means it is a logical and systematic approach. So whatever we'll be having, you should follow the some of the basic rules. Okay, before coming the VLSI tools, if you want to design by using the sheets, so what a simple example, if I just take it, so if MSI means your medium scale integration. Okay, in that if you want to just design for the 500 transistor, okay, the time taken by the to design this for 500 transistor, it was 2 engineers, and it was been for they were working for the whole month just for the 500 transistor. So if I just take the 5 lakh transistor, then the same 2000 engineers were wanted to work for the months together, and so in that if I just convert that, so we require 170 engineers per year. Okay, now by using the tools it is all just reduced. Okay, we are just talking about the structure of, so if you want to draw by using the drawing board. Okay, initially the thing, so before the 1990s almost it was been there, and then this lambda based rules, design rules and all those stuff came, and then we are using the VLSI tools. So Tanner is a tool, Microwind is one of the tools, Synopsys. So Synopsys and the Tanner tools are the most important, and nowadays it has been used for the Cadence tools. Okay, now we'll just go through some of the guidelines, okay, of your what architectural issues. Okay, first the guidelines. So first thing, so requirements means, so we should define the requirements carefully and properly. What are the requirements we require, that we should be designing for the properly, and it should be defined properly and carefully. Next, partitioning. Next, partitioning means we should partition the overall architecture into appropriate subsystem. So we want to partition the whole structure into a appropriate subsystems. Next, communication parts. It should also be having a carefully in order to develop sensible interrelationship between the subsystems. Okay, so connection, just communication path means it should be having the connection. Next comes your floor plan. Floor plan is to how it is to map on the silicon. So what exactly the design layer should be there, and all those stuff will be just coming on the silicon layers. Okay, depending upon this floor plan, we can just alternate the 2, 3 and 4 as we require. That is the partition and the communication parts as well, along with the floor can be changed according to the design. Okay, next, regular structure, that is your fifth point, that is the regular structure, so that it should be largely a matter of replication. So whatever it should be designed, it should be designed of a standard set. If you want, that is if you want to replicate, that is if you want to duplicate it, we can just go for it. Okay, we'll just take one example, we can just throw in general example and we'll just check it off. Okay, next, so we should draw the suitable diagrams of system, that is your stick diagrams as well as your symbolic diagram. It should be of a same regular thing. Okay, next, convert. So whatever the suitable diagrams, whatever the subsystems what you have done, we should convert that into a layout. Okay, next, so layout means already we know that we should be followed by your lambda based rules. Okay, so that it should be cross checked with your DRC, that is your design rule check. Okay, if I just want to tell you that if I want to take the polysilicon, then what it will be having, polysilicon will be having got 2 lambda. Okay, so it is nowhere mentioned that it should be considered for a 1. If I just take for 1.9 lambda, then also it will give error. If I just check after about 2 lambda, it will not give a error. Next, the last one is to simulate whatever the thing what you have been just cross checked. Okay. Okay, next is your switch logic. Okay, switch logic is based on the pass transistor or transmission gate. So you can just design by using the pass transistors or by using the transmission gate. Okay, so switch logic approach is fast for small arrays and takes no static current from the supply rails. Okay, and next, the main important thing is power dissipation of such arrays is small since current only flows on switching. So power dissipation is very much less in this switch logic. Okay, I'll just go through some of the examples in your switch logic. Okay. Okay, now we'll just go through the example of your switch logic. So here we have just taken the NFETs. Okay, so here we are taking A, B, C and D, that is the 4 NFETs, and when V in is equal to V out, or that V out is equal to V in when A is equal to B is equal to C is equal to and D is equal to 1. Why? Because NFET is only on for the logical high device, so that when the input is 1, at that time only your NFET is equal to 1, and since it is been connected in series, V out is equal to V in when A is equal to B is equal to C is equal to D is equal to 1, and it is been divided by your threshold effect. Okay, now the same example, if I just connect by using the two inverters, what will happen? Okay, see here, the same thing what you have been discussed. When A is equal to B is equal to C is equal to D is equal to 1, V in is equal to whatever the V in input will be just cutting across here. So V in is equal to 1, the output here what will be getting is 1. Okay, so since it is converted into connected with the inverter, so we will be getting it as 0. Once again, when E, F, G and H is equal to 1, at that time we will be getting the output here as 0, and since once it is connected it as inverter, then we will be getting it as 1. So when V out is equal to V in when A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H is equal to 1. Okay, next, if any one of the input is 0, that is A, B, C, D or E, F, G, H, if any one of the input is 0, the V out will not be equal to V in. Okay, so this is the thing what they have been adjusting. Okay, next, so we are just going through the 5-way selector, that is your transmission gate, that is a TG gate. Okay, see here, A is equal to, and A bar is being generated with the V in. Okay, transmission gate. If A is equal to 1, then obviously the A bar is equal to 0. Okay, when A is equal to 1 means your NFET is on, so obviously A bar is equal to 0 means your PFET is, means whatever the V1 value will be, you will be getting at the V out. In the same fashion, B bar, C bar. So what the expression that we will be getting at V out is V1 into A plus, V2 into B plus, V3 into C plus, V4 into D plus, V5 into, since when A, B, C, D and D is equal to 1, at that time the V out is equal to what? V1, V2, V1 plus, V2 plus, V3 plus, V4 plus, V5. Okay, so next, so this one is the simple NMOS 3 input OR gate. So here we have just connected the A, B, C with the parallel connection and A bar, B bar, C bar in a series connection. Okay, so we just cross check if any one of the input is, so whatever the input will be just giving, at that time the output we should means. So if we just give the A value as 0 or 1, whatever the value will be giving, so we should add the V out will be getting the V out value, that is V out is equal to A plus B plus C divided by the threshold voltage, that is when A, B, C is equal to 1. If any one of the input is 1, the obviously V out is equal to what? So we will getting. So next, V out bar is equal to what? A bar, B bar, since it is been connected in series. Okay. Okay. Next example. So this one is the input, that is 0 volt and the 5 volts, and we are just consider for this what? The NFET. So we are just discussing about how the threshold voltage will be just drop. Okay. See here, since it is the NFET, when the input is 1, that is the plus 5 volt, that is if the logical value is higher, that only my NFET will be on. So just consider the X is equal to plus 5 volts, at that time your NFET is on. But at the output what you should be getting is, so the same exact value of 0 volt as the 5, but what will be due to the threshold voltage value, so there is a drop in a threshold voltage, so we will be getting it as 4 volts. So there will be a threshold voltage drop of 1 volt. So obviously it will not be of a totally 1 volt. So just for the consideration, we are just considering it as plus for 1 volt. Okay, normally it will be in a 0.1 or a 0.2 threshold voltage. So means whatever the input what you will be getting, will not be getting the exact voltage. There will be a little bit of threshold voltage. In the same fashion, if I just consider for your PFET, okay, see here at the PFET means the output, the PFET is on for when the input is 0. Okay, so when the input is 0 volt, my PFET is so. But what the value should be getting it as exactly 0. Okay, but what will be getting it as plus 1 volt. So this is also due to the P switch threshold voltage drop. Okay, to overcome this positive NFET as well as PFET threshold volt, we just come across the transmission gate. Okay, transmission gate. So this one is the transmission gate symbol. So whatever the input will be, the same will be the output without any threshold voltage drop. Okay, when it is depend upon your X bar and X. Okay, see here. So this one is the structure of your transmission gate. Okay, see here. PFET is connected below and NFET is being connected all. Okay, it is left to you. Obviously, always the PFET should be connected above and the NFET should be connected below. But in this figure, they are given it as X bar and X. So when X is equal to plus 5 volts, getting, and obviously the X bar is equal to what? 0 volt. Okay, if X is equal to 1, so X bar is equal to 0. So 1 means logical high value. So now obviously it will be of a plus 5 volts. So X is equal to plus 5 means X bar is equal to 0. Means if X is equal to plus 5 volts, then my NFET will be on, and X bar is equal to 0 volt means my PFET will be. So this transistor will be in a on state. Means whatever the input will be, there is the exactly the same output I will be just getting without any threshold voltage drop. Okay, what it was occurring for your NFET as well as for your PFET, that is been overcome by using this transmission gate. So what will be telling it as transmission, it is a good logic level, because when when both the transistors will be on state, at that only the input output will be the input. Okay, without any threshold voltage drop. Okay, and this one is the, so how does the threshold voltage drop will be occurring? Okay, so this one you just consider it as the NFET, and the output is acting as the input to the next NFET. So logical 1 value, and so it is being connected with the VDD. So VDD means if I just consider it for plus 5 volts, so there will be a threshold voltage. The output that will be is VDD minus VTP. So if VDD is 5 volts and if the threshold voltage drop is of 1 volt, so I'll be getting the that is, it is getting across, it is here, it is 4 volts. So next it is what? VDD minus 2 VTP. So if it is getting VDD means now it is been 4 volts. So next it is what? Minus 2 into VTP. So VDD minus means 4 minus 2, that is 5 minus 2. It will be what here? You will be getting it as 3 volts. So in this fashion, the threshold voltage drop will be just occurring, and at the last we will be getting it as 0, but that will not be happening. So normally it will be of in a 0.1 or 0.2 threshold voltage drop. Okay, so what we will be getting here is loss of logic level 1 if the gate of pass transistor is driven from another pass transistor. So this transistor, the output of this one is acting as the input means, so this one is this pass transistor is being driven from the another pass transistor. So obviously there will be a voltage drop. Okay, from one FET to another FET. To overcome this, so we are just going for your transmission gate. So whatever the exactly output will be getting without any threshold voltage drop when both NFET and PFET are in a on state.